Hello. Okay, so first things first, I've got a little bit of a different video for you today. I did tell you a little bit about it in my last video. If you remember my giveaway, one of my lovely ladies who won the giveaway was called Deborah, and she has started her own YouTube channel. How exciting is that? And she and it's called Hegan's Handicrafts. I hope I have pronounced that properly. Very sorry Deborah if I haven't. I'm going to leave a link in the description below if I can get it to work properly, because I don't always get these links to work properly. I'm sorry. So I'll leave a link in the description below. So yeah, check her out. She's very sweet and her stuff's really pretty. Check her out and yeah, watch her stuff. It's really good. And she's also done, bless her, a really sweet unboxing of the package that I sent her for the giveaway. So if you want to have a look at the glitters that I sent her and the little things that I sent her, then go over and have a look. It's a really sweet video. Thank you ever so much. Bless you, sweetheart. It's really kind of her to do a video opening the package I sent her, and I'm really pleased that she likes the things I sent. So hop on over and have a look after you've watched this one, of course, or you could come back to me after, that's fine, I don't mind. So today's video I'm going to show you how I made one of the little items I sent to her, and the reason I'm going to do that is because several people that I showed, she really liked them and said, oh, I'd love you to show how you did that. So and this one I didn't send because it wasn't perfect because I had some bubbles. I will take a close-up so you can see properly after. But yeah, this one came up with some bubbles, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I didn't send this one. But basically, yes, I made some key rings to send off, and I made them with shrink plastic. Now, I used to use this with my daughter when she was little, and we used to have great fun. And I'd never really thought of it as an adult craft. And I wanted to send some key rings. And I love stamping. Excuse me, I have a terrible cough at the minute. It is just cold. Another cold. I've done all my COVID tests and everything, and it's negative, but I just keep getting these colds lately. I think it's because we haven't been by anybody for ages, and then all of a sudden you go by people and then you get like all your normal winter colds that you think, oh, I haven't had a cold in ages, and then you get loads. Yes, so I love stamping and things like that, and I kept thinking, how can I create a nice keyring without using moulds and things like that? And then I came across something that me and my daughter had made years and years and years ago, and I thought, oh, I'm sure I could use that in an adult craft way. And yes, so I dug out some of my stamps, Santoro Gorjuss again, beautiful, and so I made some, and it worked. It was a long process of finding out how to get the shrink plastic to accept the resin, and I've had a couple of questions actually, and I'll have to look back over the comments. Ask me a question about how you get the resin, and I'll cover all that after, but we'll go first things first. So I did have some iffy bits to get the resin to stick to the shrink plastic, because it didn't want to stick, it kept peeling off. So, and it kept bubbling up, and some sort of reaction happened, but I'll show you how I combated that. So first off, this is the shrink plastic I used, and when you can see that in the shop. And there are several different types. You can get lots off Amazon, lots and lots. There are so many different types, I wasn't sure which to use. The one that me and my daughter used when she was little was the children's one. What's it called? I don't know what it's called now, but it was the children's one. But this is the one, I ordered this off Amazon, and this is the one I made this one with, and it actually shrinks less than some of the others. And then I did get this one, the Sizzix one, and I haven't tried this one yet, so I might give this one a go as well to compare. But there were lots of different ones on Amazon. I'll leave the links to the ones I bought, but there are lots. You just have to look. There are very varying different sizes. Some of the ones I read, people thought, oh, they thought these were going to come in A4, and they were like actually A5, and they were tiny, and so you just have to look at the different. This is the back of this one. You can use it for varying different things with varying different effects and different stuff like that. So I might have a go in other videos at seeing if we can use like alcohol inks and stuff like that. So this is what it is. I've already done that one out of this one. Yeah, and I'll show you. I'm going to print on it, stamp on it, not print on it, stamp on it. So I don't think this would go through a printer. Although I bet people could, you know. I don't know. So I've got some stamps. I'm going to use a butterfly. I want to see how that comes out. And then I've got various different stamps. Now, I think this is the one I used before for this one, which I love. I love that one. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use this one. These are nice. This one's nice but a bit small, because you've got to remember it shrinks to something like 5 to 7 times its original size. So I think this one is a bit small. This one I like, but then the border might be, I'm not sure if I want the border. Although that might be easier to cut out. They do get a little bit fiddly to cut out. You can cut them with scissors, but I tend to think I find myself a craft knife better for these shapes, because it can, I did try scissors with this, and can you see how it cracked? Because it's rigid, it does not like for you to turn corners. So I'll either go for this one or this one, and then I'm going to do some butterflies. So I'm going to use a permanent ink pad, because I'm not sure, because I'm going to have to heat it. Now you can do this in the oven. You can also use a heat gun. Now I'm going to use my heat gun. Now you can, because I got a nice even result. Now it's mixed. Some people like the oven, some people like a heat gun. It's mixed. I did it with my heat gun absolutely fine. I just used a tin lined with silver foil, and my heat gun worked fine. If I was doing lots of pieces, one after another, but I find that I've got a big oven, and having the whole oven on for a tiny piece, if you did 2 pieces together, the chances are they would flick and they might stick together. That's why I don't like doing 2 pieces side by side. I'm sure you probably can if you did like a divider and all blah blah, but I tend to like doing mine one by one with the heat gun, but I will show you that after. So yeah, let's get on, and I'm going to colour them in. And to colour them in, you can use alcohol markers, and you can. So I'm going to colour mine in with my coloured pencils. I prefer that look. It's a softer look. I liked the softer look. If you want to do like kawaii or something with a bit more pop, then alcohol markers or permanent markers, things like that, they work well. I do find if you go over layer on layer on things like alcohol markers or Posca, then they tend to crack. So this is why I prefer the softer coloured pencils. So I'll be doing that. What else? I'll tell you things as I go along. There's quite a bit to remember that I found out sort of as I went along. Some things worked better than others. So let's just get on and we'll have a go. Okay, so here's my first little girl. This one is called... it's this little sweetie pie here. The Getaway. Okay, she's called the Getaway. So basically what I'm going to try and do, not exactly, but I'm going to try and recreate similar to this. So I've picked out my colours. So what I found, now I'm not saying this is exactly what you've got to do, this is just that's what has worked best for me. I have found that I've printed or inked on the shiny side, and then I'm going to turn over and colour on the rough side. So I found better pens go on the shiny side, or ink, and then colour in on the rough side. That I found if I did it the other way around, it is cracked and it has not adhered to the shrink plastic. So I've got my colours. These are the colours that I have worked out. I've done some swatches, that these are the ones closest to what the colours that I want them to be. I'm not saying they're perfect, and I'll do a little bit of fixing or adapting as I go along, and we'll see how she comes out. She's pretty. I like the way the image came out. I haven't got any, it's quite fine this one, I haven't got any big gaps. I had some gaps on the butterfly, but that's fine. Once we've coloured her and she shrunk, you won't be able to see that so much. But yeah, let's get on and see how she comes out. Okay, so she's all coloured in. Flip her over, see what she looks like. There she is. Now when she's, when we've shrunk her, she'll look a little bit darker, and sometimes the colours go, you have to be careful because sometimes they go a little bit wacky as well, because it goes like almost like three-dimensional with the layers. I won't be talking while I'm doing the shrinking because it can get a bit noisy. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a tin, and then I'm going to line it with foil, and I'm going to use my heating tool to shrink her down. I will use an old set of tweezers to steady her in place because it does tend to flip around a little bit, but I don't want to touch it because it gets very hot. And then as soon as she stops shrinking, that so she can shrink no more, I will then take her out quickly and put something flat on top. I usually use one of my blocks to make sure that I press it down flat so that she doesn't have any undulations or any curves in her. So let's have a go and see how she comes out. Okay, so I hope you can see her. She came out really pretty. Oh, okay, so can you see how, I don't know if you can pick that up on camera, how the line work is on top and then the colour is underneath. And that's because as it shrinks, obviously it gets thicker, but it gives this illusion, like, so if you print on the shiny side and then colour on the other side, you get this effect where the line work is on top. So if you go out of the lines a little bit, or if you say you're not the neatest colour or anything like that, you will find that the line work will, when looking from the front, will always appear on top of the image, and it looks like 3D. It's really cool. I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the others, and then we'll go over how we managed to cover them in resin after. Okay, okay, so they came out lovely. Okay, so some of them go a little bit crinkly on the top, but that's okay. That's okay. So, I mentioned in my last video, one of the issues I had when I first made these keyrings to send off for my giveaway was that I could not get the resin, the UV resin that I wanted to dome the pieces with. I couldn't get them to adhere properly. They would stick, but then I would notice that when I was testing them to make sure that it didn't peel, they would, with some force, they would peel. And over time, that meant that to me, they may, the edges may peel, degrade, and they may separate. And I didn't want that. So, I tried lots of other things to dome them with. I tried other products. I tried different glues. I tried glazes. And I couldn't get anything that gave me the look I was after from my resin. So that got me thinking there must be a way to get the resin to stick to these better. So I tried a couple of things, and what I found, now this ties in nicely with a question I got from an Edward Stephen, is that? And I'm not going to try and pronounce the last bit of your name because I am, if anybody who watches me, you know I am terrible at pronouncing things. And they asked, the question, my UV resin does not adhere well to this surface. I use it for acrylic keyrings. It does not adhere, it does adhere but not as firmly as an epoxy would. And that is exactly what I found. So, what I did was I got some Mod Podge. I've had this for donkeys. I mean, yeah, it's a right state. So, what I did, I'm going to show you right now, if I can open this, because this is a really difficult tub to open. Okay, so, oh, that was a struggle. Okay, so, what I found, now you could use a paintbrush and whatever, but I just went ahead and used my hand. I'll get myself a tissue because I get a bit messy. And I'll just do one of these to show you. And then basically what I did was I just dip my finger in the glue, in the Mod Podge, and then I just wiped it, just a thin, I didn't do a thick layer or anything. I did get quite messy though, guys. And I just over the top like that. Keep going until it was a bit tacky rather than leaving loads on there. Okay, and then I'll do that with all of them, and I'll do it front and back. And then when I, so you know, you do get a bit of crinkling when, so you get it all into the crinkles as best you can, get it into all the crevices. But they turned out really cute, yeah? Oh, see, no, look, I'm going to make a mess. You know me, I'm messy. That's cool, that's fine. You do get some crinkling on these guys, and as you saw when I had one of them start to stick together and then I just unpeeled it. That's what I like about using the heat tool. You can undo it. Sometimes I've done it in the oven, I've opened the oven, they've actually been hard stuck together, and I don't like that. So I feel like I've got more control with the heat tool. But you have to be careful because obviously the colour is on the back here, so I just go over lightly because at the end of the day the colour's not set. It will be now I've put this on, it'll be nice and underneath, but the colour's not set, so the heat doesn't set the colour unless you're using something that's like a permanent. Well, I've used coloured pencil, so don't sort of rub too hard, otherwise you will start to get sort of like, I've got a bit of a pink finger now because I've done my butterfly and probably made the whole of the butterfly pink, which I have, which is fine, it's cool, I don't mind that. But on this one I'd be disappointed if I'd done that, so I don't want that to happen on this one. I don't mind the whole of my butterfly being pink, but I don't want this colours to run on here, so I'm going to be very mindful of that. So, yes, Edward, the answer to your question is, I found if I sealed it with Mod Podge, other PVA glues might work, but I found that if I sealed it with Mod Podge, then my resin, my UV resin, stuck way better, and I didn't have any lifting, any peeling or anything. And I'm not sure, there must be some sort of chemical answer, some scientific answer, but we know that a lot of resins, a lot of UV resins don't like certain surfaces. They don't like sticking to certain surfaces, like they don't like sticking to certain shiny surfaces. So I have found, after I did a bit of experimenting, that when I stuck the Mod Podge on, I didn't have any of that lifting, I didn't have any of that peeling, and they stuck really well. I didn't have any issues at all. So we'll wait for those to dry, then I'll flip them over and I'll do the same again, and then we'll get on to doming the tops. Okay, so She's come out beautiful. And a tiny little bit of spinach here, but that doesn't bother me. It's only a tiny little bit here, and that's okay. I can sort that with a file after if I wanted to. What I'm going to try now is I'm going to do the butterfly. But what I want to try is, if you didn't have a bail, if you didn't have one of these, and also if the bails were too big for your pieces, I'm going to see if I can use a jump ring and attach the jump ring half on and half off, and see if that would create, because in a normal resin piece you could screw in, but with this being, with the shrink plastic being laid in the middle, I wouldn't like to drill through. So I'm going to attempt now. It might not work, it might be a bit too fiddly, it might not lay flat, but I'm going to attempt now to see if I can attach a jump ring. Now I'm going to try this size. I don't want anything too big. I have got a size bigger. Size smaller just wouldn't work, but I have got a size bigger I can go to, but I think that would be, the one I've got is quite a bit bigger, so I'm going to try with this size ideally, and I'll see if I can attach that, and we'll see how we go. So let's have a look. This one looks beautiful. She's come out beautiful, bubble free as well. So let's see how we got on. I'll zoom you in and see how we get on. Right, let's see if it worked. So it's stuck. It's not perfectly aligned, but well, I suppose it is in the middle. It's just that perhaps my butterfly's a bit wonky. Okay, let's give it another coat and see if we can seal that in nicely. Okay guys, we're all done. I hope you like them. I just want my glasses so I can actually see properly. I hope you like them. I love how they came out. I think they're pretty, I think they're beautiful. So that's my little keyring collection. I'll leave the details in the description box below of the things that I've used. The stamps are just from various craft stores. I buy things from the range and from Amazon and stuff like that. Yeah, but I'll write down what I've used and stuff. But I hope you like them, and this method has worked for me. I'm sure other people have found other ways to get the resin to adhere to the shrink plastic, but this is what's worked for me. Yes, so I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been useful, and if you've got any questions, you know, just ask me and I'll try and help out. Don't forget to go to Hegan's Handicrafts, pop on over, and yeah, if you like what you see, subscribe, say hello, tell her I said hello and then I sent you over. Let's show her lots of love, and we're all one big happy family. Let's support each other, and yeah, I hope you've had I hope you're all safe. I hope you've had a lovely day. Actually, the sun's out today here. It's beautiful. So that's made me feel a little bit better. So take care, and I shall see you all soon. Bye bye.